what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Endless TBR. My name is Christian, and this is my YouTube channel where I love to talk about all things book related in my life. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to click on this video where I'm going to outline all of the books that I plan to read in October 2025. I'm very, very excited. This is my favorite month of the year. I love the spooky season. I love all of the vibes of October. And so I have a really, really great list of scary books that I plan on reading throughout the month. I've been slowly building an October TBR shelf on my bookshelf for the past couple months as I've found books that I've been interested in that kind of feel like they fit more in October. I've been slowly pushing them back and back. So now I have like this whole stack of books that I've just been slowly anticipating getting to over the course of the last few months. And it's finally time to get through them. And I'm very excited to read them. I'm very much shooting for the moon this month. Last month was not my strongest reading month. This month I have a lot of different books planned, so fingers crossed that I'll be able to lock in and finish all of them. But I'm going to try to read as much as I possibly can this month because, like I said, I just want to try to condense it all into October if I can. I don't want any of it to spill over into November. But right before we get started with the spooky books, I did want to say I finished one book so far this month, and it is Temptation of the Force from Star Wars: The High Republic. This is a spillover from September. It was a book I was trying to finish in September, and I just ran out of time. I started it at the end of September, and I finished it on like October 3rd. So that will be included in my like October recap at the end of the month, as will this book, which is called Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. And this is a required reading book for the creative writing class that I'm taking this semester, and I'm absolutely loving it. I don't regret it at all. It's this book about her tips and tricks for how to be a great writer, which is just, as someone who wants to be a writer, it's just invaluable advice. I'm loving it. Last month I had to read On Writing by Stephen King for the same class, and that was just a masterpiece of a book, and I'm really enjoying this one so far. I have like 80 pages left, so I'm hoping to finish it by the end of the night tonight, and then start jumping into the spooky books that I have planned. So those are going to be two little outliers in the month that you will see in later videos. But now starting with the other books that I have planned. The first one I will read is my book club book. I'm in a book club with some of my friends, and my buddy who had to choose the book for this month chose this one. It is called Manhunt, and it is by Gretchen Felkner Martin. And I know absolutely zero things about this book. I'm going in blind, but it seems like an interesting book just by the cover. So we'll see how that goes, but I don't know anything about it, and I'm excited to see how it goes. The next book I have planned is this one right here, Horns by Joe Hill. And we got little Daniel Radcliffe's face on the cover here. I have seen this movie. I loved it. I don't remember too much about it other than Daniel Radcliffe grew horns out of his head and just all kinds of chaos ensued after that. But I really want to get more into Joe Hill. I've only read one of his books so far, which is 20th Century Ghosts. So this is going to be my second book of his, and I'm really, really excited because I liked 20th Century Ghosts a lot, and I'm excited to see what Joe Hill can do with the full-size novel and not just short stories. So that is Horns by Joe Hill, probably the biggest book of the month that I want to read. So wish me luck on that one. The next one, actually the next two, I'm gonna lump them together because I think they're kind of similar-ish. But we have Dracula by Bram Stoker. I don't know if you can see the title there; it's kind of glary. And then we have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Two horror movie classics that I have never read before. I feel extremely behind the curve for never having read either of these. I'm very familiar with the characters and their stories as they're portrayed in like movies and other sources of fiction, but I don't know what's in these books pretty much at all. If it's going to be similar to what I know about Frankenstein and Dracula, or if it's going to be something completely different. I just know that these are absolute classic horror novels, and it's about time I get into reading them. So Dracula and Frankenstein, very, very excited to read both of those finally. Next up, we have a book that I'm really, really excited for. I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. He's one of my favorites. And I saw that there was this. It is a Call of Cthulhu manga by Gao Tanabe. I showed this in a previous video. I still don't know if I'm saying his name right, but it is Gao Tanabe. That's how I think it's pronounced. And I'm really stoked for this. He has a whole series of H.P. Lovecraft manga adaptations. So I'm hoping I like this one a lot, and I plan to get the entire collection if I do enjoy it. But this will be a nice little break because, lots of pictures, not too many words, considering some of the other sizable reads that I have planned for this month. But I'm super stoked to read about the Call of Cthulhu in a different medium and to read about it in manga form. So that is another read I plan. Then usually I try to read like one Stephen King book a month. Sometimes I don't get to it every month. I did not get to it in September, so I figured I would double up on Stephen King books for the month of October. And I'm currently reading him in publication order. And the next two happen to be Night Shift and The Long Walk. So I want to try to read both of these. Night Shift, which I believe is a collection of short stories. I think it's his first published collection of short stories. So I'm really, really excited for that. I've read Everything's Eventual by him, and it wasn't my favorite, but I've heard that Night Shift is more well received. So I have high hopes to get into this. And then we have The Long Walk, which I just saw the movie of recently. I absolutely loved it. I went back and forth with myself a lot as to whether or not I wanted to try to read the book before the movie. I decided against it just because I felt like seeing the movie would be a lot more intense if I had no idea what was going to happen. So now that I've seen the movie and I loved the book, I'm very excited to get into read this book. This is probably my most anticipated of the month. If I had to lock one down, it would be The Long Walk right there. Then we have a book that I don't know anything about at all, but it is called The Fisherman, and it's by John Langan, and it's actually one of the first books I ever added to my want to read list on the Goodreads app. And the reason I discovered this book is there's this video game that I love. It's called Dredge, and it's like this really spooky fishing game where you go around in this little tugboat and you just capture like fish, but there's like monsters that stalk you in the night and all of that. And I finished the game, I loved it. And on the Dredge subreddit, I saw this post that was like looking for other content similar to that game. And a person on there recommended this novel. They said it's kind of like Dredge in book form in a way, like it gives a lot of the same vibes. So that hooked me in, and I immediately added it to my want to read list like over a year and a half ago. And I was looking back through the list and I was like, this is the perfect month to read something like this. So I picked it up. I'm really, really excited for this one as well. So that is The Fisherman by John Langan right there. And then the final book or books that I want to read for the month is, if you've watched my channel at all, every month I like to do, like, I call it a nostalgia pick. It's basically where I go back in time to my youth or early adulthood and I pick a book that I've read before that I want to reread for the month to see like how I feel about it as an adult now. And I was going back through my catalog of books that I've read when I was a kid, and I realized there's not many scary books that I read as a kid. I read mostly fantasy and sci-fi. I did, however, find my Goosebumps collection. I have a whole big collection of Goosebumps. Now, Goosebumps are very, very short. I did read one Goosebumps book last year. It was Night of the Living Dummy. It took me like 2 hours, and I just felt like one Goosebumps book wasn't going to be enough to really scratch the itch. So I picked three of them that I remember really, really liking from when I was a little kid. So those are Why I'm Afraid of Bees, and then we have Stay Out of the Basement right here, and then we have A Night in Terror Tower. So I want to try to read all three of these. I think that's something I should be able to do on just one day off of work, is just knock through some Goosebumps books. But I wanted to keep the nostalgia pick alive for this video. I could not find anything that fit the season as to like a full-length novel, so I ended up going with three Goosebumps books. So I'm going to try to read these as well. So those are my current reads for October 2025. Wish me luck. It's a much bigger TBR list than I think I've picked for any other month since I started this video. So it's going to be a big task, but I'm already off to a decent start. And yeah, so let me know if you guys have read any of these books down in the comments below, which ones you think are the best out of those list of books that I want to read. And thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned. I do like a halfway through the month update to show how I'm doing on my reading progress, as well as a review and a ranking at the end of the month for all the books that I've read. So thank you so much for checking out this video, and I will catch you all in the next one.